One for the boys, one for the girls. The Shirley Temple that most of us know. I'm going with one of the better, more original interpretations of it, I find. And the Roy Rogers, a drink that's mostly forgotten today, but was always there as the rough and ready sibling to the Shirley Temple. Let's go. We're going to start with the Roy Rogers. I have a theory as to why I'd never heard of a Roy Rogers as a kid, and it's simply this. Cherry Coke existed. Just like most kiddie cocktails, you're going to start this with ice. To this, we're going to add 1 ounce of grenadine. That's 30 mils for those of you on metric. And then we top it off with cola. This happens to be Coke, but any cola will do. You just top her off. And what we've made is very fruity, bit berry forward, and basically it's a fancy cherry Coke. And I think that's why the Roy Rogers went away. It was just a fancy cherry Coke, and once people had cherry Coke on tap, they just didn't need it anymore. We're just going to garnish the way you always garnish a kiddie cocktail, with an extra cherry. And there you go. 1 Roy Rogers. And yeah, it's just really, really good cherry Coke. It's completely reminiscent of any other cherry cola you would have had, but there had to be a Roy Rogers for the boys because the girls had the Shirley Temple. And this is probably something you've seen or heard of. But you may have only encountered a simplified version of it, because it turns out originally it wasn't just lemon lime soda. So we start the same way. 1 ounce of, well, no, we start the same way with ice. So we start the Shirley Temple with a glass of ice, and then we add our ounce of grenadine. And that lovely bright red appears. Now, we don't just add lemon lime soda, we add equal parts lemon lime soda and ginger ale. That actually worked. Once again, we're going to garnish, and I feel like a skull is appropriate here just because it's the least sensical garnish for something named a Shirley Temple. So, 2 cherries on my skull pick, and there we have 1 Shirley Temple. And this is much better than a lot of Shirley Temples. Mixing the lemon lime soda and the ginger ale gives you something that tastes a lot less predictable. I mean, it's if you could call it a flavor, you could call it a Shirley Temple flavor. It's not like 7-Up with cherry or something like that. It's honestly much more balanced, which makes sense because the Roy Rogers is a much more balanced drink than a stereotypical Shirley Temple is as well. So there you go. 2 of our kiddie classic cocktails. Nothing done to them to modernize them, just how they would have been served in the 1960s, 1950s, and on. And they're delicious. So if you're a kid, making this for a kid, or just a kid at heart, I recommend giving them a try. Maybe a little nostalgia will do you good.